All right, let's be honest. We've all been there, right? You set some huge, exciting goal. You're gonna run a marathon, learn Spanish, finally write that novel. And for a week or two, you're on fire. Then, fizzle. Motivation just vanishes. And we always blame ourselves, our lack of willpower. But what if motivation was never the answer? Well, we're gonna dig into James Clear's Atomic Habits to explore a way better path. And it all boils down to one powerful idea: focusing on your systems, not your goals.
This quote right here is the whole game. Just let it sink in for a second. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. It's not about how big you dream, it's about what you do every day automatically. Because let's face it, that amazing burst of inspiration, it always fades. But your systems, they're what's left. They're what catch you. So if our goals are actually the problem, what's the solution?
Okay, I know what you're thinking. Goals are the problem? That sounds completely backwards. Everything we've ever been taught is about setting big, hairy, audacious goals. But James Clear makes this incredible case that staring at the finish line is actually the very thing that trips us up before we even get going. So let's break it down. A goal is a one-time thing, a finish line you cross. A system, on the other hand, is the process you follow over and over. And here's the kicker. Winners and losers, they often have the exact same goal. Think about it. Every single team in a league wants to win the championship. That goal doesn't set them apart. What does? Their system, the daily grind, the coaching, the culture, the habits. That's the thing that actually makes the difference.
And this analogy is just perfect. You can get a massive burst of motivation and clean your entire messy room. Boom, goal achieved. It looks great. But if your system is still drop clothes on the floor, guess what? You'll be right back in that same mess next week. See? Goals just treat the symptom. Your systems are what fix the root cause.
All right, so if we're all in on building systems, where on earth do we start? Well, it's not with some massive dramatic overhaul of your entire life. Nope, it's with something much smaller and a whole lot more powerful. It's the idea of just getting 1% better. Just look at that number, 37 times better. That is the absolutely insane power of getting just one tiny percent better every single day for a year. On day 1 or even day 10, it feels like you're doing nothing. But that's the trick. These tiny gains compound on each other, and over time, the result is just explosive.
And this graph shows it all. James Clear calls this the compound interest of self-improvement. That top line, that's your 1% better each day, creating this incredible upward curve to success. But, and this is the scary part, look at that bottom line. A 1% decline, a slightly worse choice each day, compounds just as powerfully, but in the wrong direction, until you're left with basically nothing. It really does work both ways.
So the real takeaway here is to just forget the fantasy of the once-in-a-lifetime transformation. That's not how it works. Real, lasting success is simply the sum of your daily habits. It's about showing up and making those small, positive choices, especially on the days you really don't feel like it.
Okay, so we get it. We need systems, and they're built on these tiny 1% improvements. But the big question remains, how do we actually make these new habits stick? Well, this is where we get to the real psychological core of the book. It's about shifting your entire focus away from what you want to achieve and onto who you want to become.
You see, most of us try to change from the outside in. We start with the outcome, that outer layer. I want to lose 20 pounds. Then we figure out a process. Okay, I'll go on this diet. But we almost never address that deepest layer, our identity, the things we truly believe about ourselves. And that, right there, is why most attempts at change fail. This is it. This is the light bulb moment. True, lasting change is identity change. The goal isn't just to do a thing, like run a marathon. The real goal is to become the type of person who does that thing, to become a runner. Because when a habit is part of your identity, you don't need motivation anymore. You're not forcing yourself, you're just being yourself.
This smoker example from the book just makes it so clear. When someone offers a cigarette, the person on the left says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." They still see themselves as a smoker who is struggling. Their identity is fighting their goal. But the person on the right says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker." See the power in that? It's not a struggle, it's a statement of fact about who they are.
So, how do you actually build this new identity? You don't just wake up one day and decide. You have to prove it to yourself with small, tangible wins. Every action you take is like casting a vote for the kind of person you want to be. You do one push-up, that's a vote for I'm an athlete.
You write one page? That's a vote for I'm a writer. A single vote won't change your mind, but as those votes start piling up, the evidence becomes undeniable.
Okay, I get it. This all sounds great in theory, but what about in the real world? It's 8 p.m., you're exhausted from a long day, and the last thing on your mind is that new habit. This is where we get to the most practical, most powerful tool in the whole book, the 2-minute rule. It's really this simple. When you're starting a new habit, the rule is it has to take less than 2 minutes. That's it. The whole point is to make it so ridiculously easy, so simple, that you literally can't say no. You're not trying to achieve some grand outcome yet. You are just mastering the art of showing up. You can scale down any giant goal like this. Run a marathon is way too big. So you shrink it down and down and down, all the way to what Clear calls a gateway habit. Just put on my running shoes. That's the new habit. Anyone can do that, right? Even on your absolute worst day, you can put on your shoes.
And that's the whole point. The 2 minutes aren't about the results. It's about casting that vote. It's about building the identity of the person who shows up. You're becoming the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. You have to nail down the habit of just starting, standardize it, before you can ever worry about making it better, optimizing it. Master the start, and the rest will naturally follow.
So, let's wrap all this up. The bottom line is, forget about waiting for motivation to strike you like lightning. It's a trap. All you need is a better system. And you build that system by focusing on who you want to become and then casting tiny daily votes for that identity. The easiest way to do that is to make your first vote so simple you can't possibly skip it. So I'll just leave you with this. What's one habit you can start in the next 2 minutes right now to cast a vote for the person you want to be?